Hello everyone and welcome back to more Seduce Me to the Demon War. We are back again in Damien's route still. So, yeah, so my throat's a bit fucked up. It's a little bit phlegmy. I've been dealing with it for like 2 days now, 3 days now, going on 3 days, yeah. So, that's why I'm kind of, you know, my voice tone might be a little different. I don't know. I did another recording and I sound kind of perfectly the same, kind of, sort of, but like, again, I'm going to probably be clearing my throat at times and then also, coughing a bit. So I apologize for that. But anyways, I'm gonna still do this just because I want to know what happens. So, first of all, where we last left off, there I go. Anyways, where we last left off, I don't think nothing much really like happened. It's just like Damien got his demon powers back. We woke up the very next morning afterwards, I think, or something. I don't know. But we asked him about it. We asked him about, how do you feel about getting your powers back and shit. And he's just like, well, I don't really like it. So we found that out, and so we're like, okay, we cool with that. And Damien, despite all that, he was like, even though I got my powers back, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get us home. So yeah. So afterwards, we went to go train to Zero, I think, and then we tried to play wingman to Zero because he's like, really crushing on Diana. And then we even like eavesdropped on a moment they had together where we found out a little bit of backstory on Zero and Diana's history. So we found out that he was her servant, and then in how he came to be under her service was that she saved him from being like punished or like, I don't know, like whipped or some shit by like her family or something. I don't even know. But that's what ended up happening. So that's that. And then yes, we tried to play Wingman, try to like get him to talk his feelings out with Diana, and we're just like, oh no, we'll try to support him, but whatever. Went to training, was heading back, and then we hear the voice of Diana, quote quote, talking to us and mocking us again, and they're just like, we find out that indeed it's not Diana, it's just someone who's impersonating as Diana, and they chose to take on her form because it's someone who we feared, quote quote. So yeah, so that's what ended up happening. So we don't know exactly who this entity is that's haunting us. That sounds like Diana, but it isn't. And then we walk in on Zero, Faye, and Damien having a little drinking party, and they're just drunk talking about their love life and like their bays and shit. And we go up to Damien, and then afterwards the other two ran off, and we go up to him, and he's like trying to enthrall us, but then he's like intoxicated, so. What we try to get him into bed. He tries to enthrall us. He tries to enthrall us again, and tries to like, take our energy. Even though he says I only take a little, but like we didn't let him, have full control, full reign over that matter. So we're just like, hey, calm down. Take it easy, kind of thing, and like, don't do anything that you might regret later on. So yeah. So we didn't actually go on full sexy time with that. We just kind of like cuddled with him. And then the very next morning, of course, is where we are right now. Is that Diana comes in before Damien even wakes up. We were up first, and then Diana was just like, "Oh, I have something really important to talk to you both about." And then Hannah was just like, "Oh, well, what can't you tell me now?" No. And then Diana was like, "No, I gotta, you both should hear about this." So yeah, so we wake Damien up, and now we will see what it is that Diana has to talk to us about. That's so important. So what is it? Dana looked down at the floor, trying to find the answer in the wooden grain. I became curious as to what Dana was about to reveal the longer the silence in the air lingered. What was the important news she had to say? When Diana formulated her answer, she looked up at me and Damien, taking in a breath.
I may have found a way to perform a reverse ritual.
A reverse ritual, so take back his energy. Take away his energy because he got it back. So now you're gonna reverse it. So it's like, okay, all right. I figured that was what it was. Like I already had an inkling of a feeling. What? Diana ran her hands through her locks. Dana ran her hands through her hair and locked her gaze to me, obviously more comfortable with speaking to me than to my fiance, because he nearly choked the bitch out, because, you know, after he found out that he's been living a lie all this time.
Long ago, when this world was forged, there was a human named Lilith, who was transformed into a demon and was brought to this world. It had been known ever since that any human who wishes to be a demon, or is punished to be one, can very much become one.
Okay, but do we ever find out why it is? I'm not really well versed in like the Bible and like, you know, those kind of stuff, so like I have no idea, like for whatever reason Lilith who was human was transformed into a demon. I don't know why. Did she do something bad? Okay, so are you saying that? Okay, so are you saying that? Diana nodded slowly, bringing her hands to her stomach and fiddling over her fingers.
It took me some sleepless nights, but I do believe I can perform a reverse ritual, which would in essence turn a demon into a human.
For reals this time, right? For realsies. My heart stopped. It was possible now? I guess so. God, I'm not well versed in any of this, so she must know what she's talking about.
How are you sure?
Yeah, I don't know. I could hear the twinge of sour strain in Damien's voice. He was right to be skeptical. After all, she had failed to turn him human before. What was to say that this wasn't going to be a failure as well? Yes, true. Dana shook her head and lowered her hands to her sides.
I'm not. Nothing like this has ever been done before, and it could be risky. Hell, you could even die from this.
Yeah, okay. What? I instantly stood up from the bed, making Diana turn her gaze at me in shock. This could kill Damien. There was no way in hell I was going to go through with this if she was suggesting such a thing. But it's all up to Damien. It's not exactly your choice. Then what are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that it's an option. A risky one, but an option nonetheless.
True. Diana turned her eyes to Damien, seeing him straighten up in bed, and gazed back at her with a serious expression.
I know that what I did back then was wrong. My intent was to make you as human as possible, but there was no method to even do that until now. If this works, you will become human. I swear on my family name.
Okay. Alright, so like, yeah, true. Cause like, you know, back then it's just like a quick, like, you know, just go, kind of quick and go kind of thing. Where it's like, she don't have time to do these researching stuff. I don't know, Damien, it's all up to you. It's, again, like, I don't know. I feel like it's not our choice to make. Even though it is a really risky kind of option. Stay silent, interject. Well, I gotta have to put my 2 cents in, just so, you know, just in case. It may have been Diana's form of redemption, but it was potentially risking Damien's life. Who knew if this would work at all, let alone successfully turn him human without killing him? Exactly. Gotta put in my 2 cents. Diana, this is insane.
But it's the only option there is.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Diana looked to me and stared into my soul, making me almost freeze in place from the intensity of her stare.
I lost my family despite having the energy to drive the Demon Lord away from them. I've received my due punishment for this mistake, and now I'm going to make it right. It is up to him if he wishes to become a human or not.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. I looked over at Damien and watched him look back over to me, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. I could tell what he wanted, but would he ask me anything? Would I have to say? Would I have a say? Yeah, would I have a say? Yeah.
Why wouldn't you have a say?
Because, shut up. I'm trying to think right now. God. Before my eyes, the world around me froze and I was shut in a room of darkness, everything barely tinted in shadow. What? I looked around, feeling stuck in my spot as a dark laughter echoed around the room.
It would be so selfish of him to become human without considering your feelings first. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, as I said, my only feelings is that it's a little risky and that he needs to understand that he can potentially die from this. So if he wants to do it, by all means, go for it. It's your life, but I'm just saying, you can die from this. But if you understand and you want to still do it, who am I to stop you? What do you want now?
I'm just stating what's deep in your heart. Nothing more.
Okay, well, I don't need you to be my self-conscious voice of thoughts, okay? I've got my own. What do you mean?
Don't tell me I have to spell it out, dear. Damien turning human? He'd lose all of his powers. He'd be worthless, weak, and simple.
But what if that's what he wants? And like, who am I to say no? But what if that's what he wants? Yeah!
Do you even know what he wants?
I don't know. That's why I'm gonna ask him. God, jeez. Sweet Lord Jesus Christ. The memory of my wedding day flashed before my eyes. The voice was telling me the truth. Did I really know what Damien wanted? Was anything he wanted for the best? I don't know. The voice chuckled deeply, a relaxation settling into my core.
Now you're getting it.
I don't get it. I'm not getting it. I remained silent, now lost once again. What was best? What if turning Damien human meant destroying who he was? I became trapped in an endless cycle of questions and confusion as the voice finally vanished and let the world continue on its journey forward in time. But I thought he wanted to be human. I thought this is what he wanted. What? What? I thought he hated his demon side, so I don't even know. I don't even know anymore.
You do not have to decide now, but I will be awaiting your answer if you do wish to try.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Alright, Diana nodded before leaving the room, most likely to prepare for the day. Damien and I stood in silence, me lost from the voice in my head, and Damien lost in his own thoughts. What were we supposed to do? I don't know. The option was now on the table, but instead of Diana sleeping with Damien, there was a chance that Damien could lose his life, right? I mean, it just got from like worse to even like worse. I wasn't sure where I stood on the issue, but I didn't like the options I was given before and now. Was it better to just leave Damien a demon? Was it worth dying to become a human? Well, maybe in his thoughts it is. The voice in my head teased me, prodding me to convince Damien to think against himself, but my heart knew that the choice was his alone. As I looked at him, I could see the conflict in his eyes while he stood and took up both the breakfast plates Diana had made for us. I still want that, you know, I'm just saying. He walked to me at last and handed me one, looking into my eyes and locking our gazes on each other. Thank you. Thanks for the food, yes. Was he going to ask me? Was he going to keep the choice to himself?
Selfish.
Shut up. I don't care. I mentally flinched at the word, hearing it ring in my heart. However, as Damien turned and sat down on the edge of the bed, I watched as he let out a sigh before starting to eat. I guess the choice was fully going to be his own, whether I liked it or not. Okay, so you're not going to even talk to me about it. Oh well, whatever. Again, like I said, even if he did talk to us about it, I would have been like, hey, like, this is what I think. I just hope you understand the consequences and the potential risk. But if you still want to do it, then go for it. We ate in silence until he left for his training and I headed for my own. Never had I felt such strain and worry pull at my heart until that moment I needed to work it out. Okay, as I arrived in the hall for training, I was surprised to see Diana in the room instead of Sero. Oh, okay. Diana, what's up? Do you want to talk to me about this ritual thing in detail? Diana turned to me and crossed her arms, taking in my form.
You will be training with me today. I apologize for Sero's absence.
Oh, okay. Never mind. What do you mean? Where's Sero? Yeah, where's Sero?
He asked to train on his own for the day. As he will be in the front lines of the siege, I granted him permission.
Okay. Alright, get his own training on. Alright. I pressed my lips together in a fine line but nodded. If he was charging at the front, then it made sense that he wanted to take a day and work on himself. I held my hand out and summoned my weapon, ready to fight the queen of the rebellion head on. Alright, then don't hold back. Yeah, I need a stress relief. Diana nodded and prepared her stance, summoning her saber and bringing it back behind her. I had to use this new training partner as a new experience. Not everyone would fight like Sero, so this was a good challenge for me. Oh god. Fighting with Diana was no easy task. She was quick and thought 10 steps ahead of me, catching me off guard at some points. Still, I could tell that I was putting up a good fight with my defense. What surprised me was how time passed by without me even noticing it. The more I clashed with Diana, the more ignorant I became of the sky's eventual descent from light purple to dark orange. Soon enough, our training had ended. Wow, okay. I panted out of breath, but surprisingly still on my feet. I didn't understand how or why, but I could only assume that I was getting better, which was a good thing. Diana smirked as she relaxed, stretching back and making her saber vanish.
I will admit, dear, you've done well for just a handful of days.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Aren't you so proud of me? I grinned, happy to hear that I had impressed Diana with my skills. I only trained for a couple of days, but showed great improvement. Maybe the demon world was aiding me to becoming a stronger person. Thank you, Diana. Yes, thank you. Diana nodded before walking to the exit of the room.
Now, please excuse me. I must see to the boys. You are free to come with if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be great. I want to see how they train. Oh, okay. Well, the party pooper. Mwah. I declined and left the room as well towards the opposite direction, feeling my bed calling to me. Besides, I didn't want to be a distraction. Okay, fine. I trekked to my room, letting the day fade to the back of my memories as I remember Diana's words to Damien. She would have a ritual set up for him if he wanted to be human, but the choice was his. A part of me screamed to stop him. The risk of his life wasn't worth it, but it was something he desired more than anything. The fix seemed simple, but it was deadly. I could lose the man I love over something trivial, but was it trivial? Yes, exactly. It's all about perception.
Of course it is.
Okay, you just shut up. I just need time to think for myself. God. I wasn't surprised anymore, glaring at the floor as the voice made themselves known in my head.
He's being selfish. Why be a human when he could be happy with you as a demon? Why does this change have to happen?
I don't know. Maybe he has his reasons. Maybe he's, again, it's all about like his experience and like, you know, his mentality. It's what he wants exactly.
But what do you want? You're the one about to sign your life away to him forever and ever. Shouldn't your opinion matter whether he becomes a human or stays a demon?
Not really. Like, I get where you're trying to sway me at, but like, I still wouldn't like force my choice upon him. My mind began to agree, but wasn't that selfish within itself? Was I truly that important to where I was allowed to decide Damien's choice because I was his soon-to-be wife? Exactly. Like, I know, like, being husband and wife means like, equality, you know? We both get a say. But like in the end, it's ultimately his life that he's living. Like, I'm not the one who's living with like demon powers and shit. If it makes him unhappy, then like, hell, it's his choice. I continued forward, letting the dark chuckle from the voice reverberate in my head into a simple echo. This was my choice, and the voice needed to stay out of it. Whatever it was, I would deal with it in due time. Yes. For now, my focus was on Damien. Oh, speaking of which, I reached our room to see Damien standing by the door, obviously waiting for me. As he caught sight of me, he smiled slightly and walked over, meeting me halfway.
Hey.
Hello. Hey. I couldn't mask the worry in my voice. I was nervous, frightened beyond anything else about this. There was a lot at stake, and I became a witness and potential victim to it all with each minute that passed. But would Damien listen? Would he understand? What would he do if I voiced my worries? Would he give a damn about the risk? Did he give a damn? Did he give a damn? Yeah. I gazed into his eyes, seeing a hopeful fire burn within them. His answer was clear, while mine wasn't. It was completely uncomfortable to be in my skin, but I had to accept that this was an obstacle we had to face one way or another. Damien took up my hand and held them to his chest. Okay.
Would you be upset with me if I went through with it?
Hey buddy, it's your life. Like I said, I don't really care. Like, I'm a bit worried that you might die from all this, but like, again, who am I to stop you? A part of me felt like screaming, begging for him to reconsider. The other part of me wanted to simply shake my head and accept what was about to occur. I was completely torn. I gripped onto Damien's hands, clinging for something to soothe me, make me feel at ease. When nothing came, I scrambled to try and answer him. Here we go, what we're gonna do. If it makes you happy, then do it. Please don't, it's too risky. I mean... Sorry, sip of water first, because my throat. Again, I still stand on, like, my choice. Like, if it makes you happy, then do it. Like, it's his life. I had to accept it. It wasn't my choice to make it all. It wasn't fair to Damien to demand that he change his mind for me. Besides, I loved him no matter what. Human or demon, he was still the man I loved. Exactly. I stared into Damien's eyes as I gripped his hands and hugged them to me lovingly. I could see the pure joy in Damien's eyes as he stared down at me, tears lacing the edges. I love you no matter what you are. If you truly wish to be human, then let's do everything we can to make that happen. Before I let Damien reply, however, I brought his hands to my lips, kissing over them with a now worried expression. I was still scared I could lose him. Right. But please, please don't you dare die on me. I can't bear to live without you. Damien nodded and leaned in, kissing over my forehead gingerly.
I will do everything I can to survive it.
Okay, I'm holding your words against you. Because if you die on me now, before we even make it to the final battle, I will find a way to resurrect you and then kill you myself. A wave of relief washed over me just from his words. Maybe he was enthralling me to calm down, or maybe his love simply reassured me that everything would be alright. Either way, this was happening. Yes, it's now a thing. I looked up at him and caressed his cheek, feeling him lovingly nuzzle into my palm. Then let's tell Diana. Yes. A smile danced along Damien's lips before he wrapped his arms around me and buried his head in my shoulder. I could hear him whisper a bit in happiness as I wrapped my arms around him, pulling him close.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Love you. I could faintly hear the voice in my head scoff. Shut up.
Wow. You're really going to let him die. How sad. I guess you'll have to prepare a funeral instead of a wedding.
Oh, shut up. I rolled my eyes and held Damien tighter. I wouldn't listen to it anymore. I believed in our love more than anything. The power of true love. We would be okay, hopefully. The 2 days that followed came filled with work from Diana and her group. Upon Damien's request, Diana ordered a massive search of everything needed for a transmutation ritual that would normally have been used to make a human a demon. The worry of the ritual bubbled in my core, but I was going to be alright. This was something Damien and I decided together, and this was going to make Damien happy. That was all that mattered in the end. Of course, the experience wouldn't have been great even without the lovely voice in my head trying to convince me otherwise. I settled that the voice was some form of worry, some sort of regret I was holding that was morphed to represent Diana, the one who placed the worry there years ago. Yes. I would beat it out as soon as Damien returned to me as a human. As the 7th day arrived, the ritual was prepared and ready for us. The others gave us their own concerns and wishes, hoping for the best regardless of what happened. We were positive that we would be okay. Alright, gotta keep that positivity. Here we go. Entering the war room, Diana looked over at the pair of us, nodding and stepping away from the table. On it were arranged purple and gold candles, all lit with black, but somehow illuminating flames that flickered in the air gently. Okay. It seemed mystical and shadow-like, but if this was how it was done, then it was how it was done. There was a space in the center of the table for a body to lay down within the circle of candles, making it clear of what had to happen. Diana gestured to the table, looking to Damien and pointing to the large space between the arranged candles. You, lay there.
Lie down when you are ready.
Yes. Alright. Here we go. Damien nodded before turning to me and smiling, taking my hand and kissing it. Okay, you better come back to me alive, or else.
You'll be here when it's over, right?
Of course, where the hell am I supposed to go? I nodded, smiling up at him and kissing his hand in return. I will, I promise. A smile was exchanged between us before Damien looked at Diana and walked to the table, stepping up on a block that was placed for him near the table to let him climb up with ease. As Damien settled onto the table, Diana walked over to me and took my hand, guiding me towards the table as well. Oh, I'm part of this as well? Okay. I guess I'm participating in it too. Alright. Huh?
A theory. Indulge me.
Okay. Alright, what you got? What you thinking about, homegirl? I watched as Diana guided me to a chair beside the table, letting me sit on it before taking Damien's and my hands and clasping them together.
This is part of the ritual?
Maybe, I don't know.
No. But it's a theory I have that might help.
Okay. Alright, whatever you say. Diana closed her eyes and wrapped her hands around Damien's and mine, and letting a soft purple glow emanate from them and circle around our hands.
You are human and are full of energy. If something falters, we can use your energy to rekindle it and resume the ritual.
Okay, so you want to use me as like those what's it called? Where you shock the person if they go into cardiac arrest or some shit and like bring them back. What are they called again? I forgot. Fear sank into my core, remembering the risk of this transformation, but at least Diana was trying to find ways to make the ritual work. It was rather thoughtful. Damien smiled at me before laying his head back and staring at the ceiling. I squeezed his hand as Dana removed her hands from our clasped ones. Purple magic continued to dance around our hands as I smiled back at Damien. Comfy?
Ready?
Alright, here we go. Damien and I nodded at the same time before both of us closed our eyes. I could hear Dinah step back and mutter under her breath some sort of Latin incantation I couldn't dissect. As she did, the energy around the room began to pulse and wave like an ocean in a storm. The air began to brush against my skin, causing me to look down at Damien, seeing the black fire around the candles around him intensify in their illumination there. I tightened my hold on Damien's hand and shut my eyes again, desperate and hopeful. This had to work, it had to, right?
It won't work.
Shut up, I didn't ask for your opinion. In the darkness of my mind, the voice appeared, making me grimace. Leave me alone. God damn it. Fuck off.
I'm telling the truth. It won't work. He'll die and you'll be all alone. All because you wanted to make him...
Oh, shut up. Ignore it. Shut up. Shut up. Can I tell it to shut up? Would it disrupt the ritual right now? Shut up. My mental shout made the voice silence itself. I had enough of its torment, its teasing and prodding. Nothing was going to go wrong. I glided into the dark, gritting my teeth. Now. Calm. Think. Tranquil thoughts. We're going to be fine. Damien will be human and we will leave this world for good. What? I took in a breath and focused myself, remaining calm and hopeful. I know what you are. Oh, what it? Oh, okay.
Then say it. Make me believe it.
I know what you are. Say it. Say it out loud. A vampire! As I stared into the dark, I could feel a smile grace my lips. It was clear who the voice was now. You're my worries, my doubt. You are my emotions intensified and transformed into some sort of haunting being in my head. Right? Did I do it? Am I right? Its silence became my confirmation. I had personified my worries and my doubts, and they had become a voice in my head trying to guide me towards the wrong choices. Ah, okay, so the thing that is haunting us in this route is our own demons. Haha! I get it. As I was magically inclined, it became an actual shadow that haunted my thoughts and dreams, feeding off of my fear and dread and becoming a part of me I couldn't shake off easily. However, now I could. With this transformation, I would finally destroy it. I was wrong to doubt Damien. I was wrong to doubt myself. This is what we need, and nothing is going to keep us from the goal we want to achieve. We will defeat the Demon Lord, go home, and live happy lives together as humans. Humans! I wanted to be firm, I wanted to stand strong. As I finished speaking, however, the voice simply chuckled.
But if Damien becomes a human, he'll die at the Demon Lord's hands.
Nah, I'm not gonna let that happen. Or maybe it might. I don't even know with this game anymore. I gasped as memories of my nightmare flashed before my eyes. Damien was a human in the nightmare, dying by sacrificing himself for my sake. Oh right, yeah. The simple realization shook my core, making me fearful once again. If Damien became human, I'd lose him anyway. My soul became heavy and racked with doubt. Uh-oh.
There we are. You cannot win this little battle with me. Either way, you lose.
If he dies with honor. Don't say anything, think of Damien. I'm gonna think happy thoughts of Damien, you know? I'm gonna think of Bay. I began to flood my mind with thoughts of Damien, of our love in the human world. We were so happy and joyous together, forgetting the worries of the world and simply living with each other. There was no greater love story than the story I lived with him and would continue to love him until the end of time. I wasn't paying attention. Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
No!
Oh shit. Damien and Dinah's voice ripped me from my thoughts, gasping at the sight I became witness to upon opening my eyes. Damien's body became engulfed in the black flames from the candles, the fire wrapping around his body like a cocoon of chains. Oh, this doesn't look good. Damien, oh my god, Damien, I'm sorry, I was fighting my own demons.
Focus your energy and save him!
I'm on it, I am on it. I slammed my free hand into the hand I was clasping tightly, uncaring that the flames were looking at me as well. I dug my hands into his hand, shutting my hands tightly. Yes, hands. More hands. Don't leave me, please. God damn it, Damien, if you do. Take me instead. Fight this. Fight it. Fight it. Death wasn't going to take him from me. Damien was going to stay here with me, and I would hold onto him until the very end of this. I prayed, I begged, I hoped that my demand would come through. However, I couldn't stop the flames from entirely encasing his body. Oh. The flames, as I held onto Damien, quickly began to snake up his body and up his hand to me, wrapping me in its tight embrace and burning over my skin. Oh, we're gonna have to bear through this. Gah. That's hot. Hot.
No!
Oh, that's very hot. Soon I was falling back off the chair I was sitting on, slamming onto the floor and feeling my entire body become engulfed by the black flames. Oh no, God, what is this fucking, like... this is... Oh, okay. Did I fuck up? I think I did. Soon the cool embrace of death was all I could feel, the darkness was all I could see. Was this worth it? What was what I did enough? I don't know. Apparently no. Okay, up in flames. I fucked up! Oh God, I was so fucking up in flames. Wow. Everything just seriously went up in flames. Then what the fuck? Okay, what did I do? What did I do? Oh my God, I think it's like the first time I actually like seriously fucked up. Like I didn't even make it to the Demon Lord. Do I gotta be more assertive with my choices, I guess? I need to pull up the guide to see where I went wrong. I just want to see. Alright, fine. I see how it is. Alright. Where? Was it over here? Wait, was it here? Where was the part where Diana asked us about if he was happy being a demon? I think it was here, right? Wait. Was it here? I'm happy he's a demon. Yeah, okay, apparently choosing I'm happy he's a demon gives us 1 point. So, wait, no. No, not that. He wants to be human. Yes, he wants to be human. Wait, is this before I asked him about it? Let me see. Let me just see. At the end of the day, Damon desired to be human above anything else. He made that clear when we met, and I wanted to respect his decision. Hell, I fell in love with him even as he became human. There we go, okay. He and I were closer that way. Okay, so that's when Diana asked us about what Damien thinks of all this, but I don't know if it's this before we asked Damien himself or after. Oh, it comes after we asked him. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, it's after. So this is okay. And then there's this part where I said control control yourself. I think for some reason I didn't see a kiss then, because that would have worked out for me too. Okay. In this situation, I don't want him to push it regardless, but I'll come back to this choice if you guys want me to. So or maybe I'll just check it out just cause. So it's just a kiss then. This was not something Damien wanted to do. I could tell that he was holding himself back, or at least he was trying to. He may have been a demon, but his mind was like a human. I wasn't Emil, I was his soon-to-be wife, yes. Damien stared into my soul, nodding before leaning in slightly and brushing his lips against my own. I closed my eyes and pressed my lips back against his, feeling the soft drain of energy course through my body. It was a strange feeling of being drained of energy instead of using it, but it was for the benefit of feeding Damien enough to not starve him, yes. Damien lowered his hands and placed them on my waist, digging his fingers slightly into my body to keep me close as I wrapped my arms around him, pulling him close to me. It was okay to let him indulge a bit, but not too much. Yeah, exactly. The kiss deepened only a bit, sweetening slowly to a kiss not filled with energy drain, but more so laced with love and passion. As we pulled away at last, Damien's eyes swiftly shifted from gold to their normal beautiful purple and blue hue. There, you happy? There we go. There we go. I lifted my hand and caressed with Damien's cheek, seeing him smile down at me as I smiled back up into his eyes.
Did I hurt you?
No, you're good. You're good to go. You're Gucci. I shook my head, giggling a bit, and feeling him relax from my silent answer. I'm more than happy to take care of you, Damien. You're the man I love and will always love you no matter. And I will always love you no matter what. Okay. Damien's smile brightened at my words, his eyes filling with pure love and devotion to me as he pulled me against him and nuzzled his forehead against mine.
How do I deserve you?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm a great person. I get asked that a lot. Ahaha, I can ask the same thing about you. Damien and I eventually moved into bed, arms firmly and lovingly wrapped around each other as the darkness of slumber called to us, beckoning us to sleep for the night. Okay, there we go. Did that give me enough points so that I don't fuck up on my ending now? We back here again, but okay, I'm just gonna cheat again. I'm gonna cheat this time and say take me instead because apparently that gives me a point. So this is so I don't fuck up, okay? Alright. I wasn't going to let death take him. If death was taking anyone, it would be me. Yes. The flames, as if they accepted my terms, quickly began to snake off of Damien's body and up his hand to me, wrapping me in their tight embrace and burning over my skin. Gah, okay. No! Oh, sorry. The flames began to encase us, blinding my nerves in endless pain and wrapping my mind in agony. In a last attempt to live, Damien sat up and wrapped his arms around me, clinging to me tightly.
I won't let you go!
Oh, how the tables have turned. I winced through the pain between us and gripped Damien and returned the flames intensifying in our embrace. This is very cozy. I won't let you go either. Yes. I was in tears, hoping deep within my heart that we would live. I loved him and he loved me. We need to survive. Oop! In a burst of white light, Damien and I were suddenly pushed from each other. Ow. Ah. Gah. The light became blinding, my body felt warm, but there was suddenly no pain. There was no fire around me, no damage done. No damage done, I was just wrapped in a white light. Was I dead? Is this heaven? No. You still here. My lungs still took in air, my heart was still beating, and my skin felt as warm. I was alive. Then what had happened? I guess it's successful? Slowly the light faded from the room, revealing the war room once again. I had fallen to the ground, aches rushing through my body as I looked around. What did we do? I think it was a success, yes? What the fuck is that? Oh, it's probably his energy, maybe. As my eyes locked onto Damien, I gasped, seeing him floating in the air with a large black orb floating in front of his body. His eyes were lifeless, but his skin was still saturated with life. You okay, buddy? Oh my god. Damien? Diana's voice forced me to look over, gasping as she glared hard at Damien and held out her hand at the orb in front of him. The orb began to trickle an inky black energy that danced through the air and sailed towards Diana's hand, burning into her palm and fading it into her skin. She winced as the veins within her purple-tinted skin began to glow a black color, snaking through her bloodstream through her hands. As the black energy left the orb began to lighten from a pure black to a silver to finally a white. This was happening. Damien was becoming human! Oh my god! As the orb finally developed a pure white color, the orb floated into Damien's body and made him gasp out for air, eyes finally brimming with life. How do you feel? Different? Damien! Oh my god, Damien. The shit that you talked me into. Damien fell forward, causing me to reach out and capture him in my arms. He instinctively wrapped his arms around me and toppled over, landing with me on the floor and him on top of me. Oof. You're still as heavy as ever, but it's okay. Despite the pain in my body, I could feel Damien breathing, hear his heart beating, see his eyes as they looked down at me in complete shock and disbelief. I felt surprise run through my own mind and emotions. We did it! We had done it! Oh my god. I lifted a weak arm and cupped Damien's cheek, seeing him take everything in. Damien, are you okay? Oh my god. Do you feel human? I was sure he was lost on what to say. I was as well. I felt tears gather in my eyes as I wrapped my arms around him and hugged him tightly. You're alive and human. Finally. I could feel it in my soul. He was human like me. He had gotten his wish and he was alive to see it. Damien began to shudder in my arms, agreeing with my statement and hugged me tightly, crying into my shoulder. I thanked every deity I knew, every star in the sky. It worked. It really worked. Kind of, sort of. I fucked up the first time, but you don't need to know that. Oh, what's happening now? I looked over at Diana to see her form a large gem in her unaffected hand and slam it into her palm, directly over the source of the black veins dancing up her arms. They slowly stopped their ascent up her arm and began to trickle down into the gem. The jewel that was once pure and clear like a cut diamond became black like an onyx. As the last of the black energy faded from Diana, she toppled over and gripped the gem to her chest, making sure not to land on it.
Damn it all.
I know, girl. I don't know how... All again, the shit that you get pulled into. All because of me. I couldn't help but stop the happy laughter that erupted from me at the realization of it all. Everything was okay now, we were alright. But we still gotta fight a demon lord though. Damien lifted his head up and slowly pulled me up to where we were both sitting up, wiping his eyes and smiling from ear to ear at me in pure happiness. I smiled and leaned in, kissing his nose gently. We did it! Yeah, we did it. Damien nodded and hugged me to him before looking over at Diana, seeing her look up at us with an amused grimace.
You almost lost your lives. And you're smiling.
I know, we're fucking crazy. Damien and I looked at each other before Damien let out a breath and hugged me to the side.
Humans are always risking their lives. You wouldn't understand.
Damien, you only just became human. You can't talk. I laughed as did Damien while Diana rolled her eyes and slowly stood up, still gripping the gem in her hands. As we stood, Diana tossed the gem at Damien.
Huh? What is this?
It's your demon powers and abilities in a gem form. So, you know, in case you want to use it, here.
Your weapon against the Demon Lord. That gem holds all of your powers, and is slowly intensifying its power. Break it, and you'll be able to use your powers one last time at full potential.
Ooh, nifty. I stared wide-eyed at Diana. Where did this come from? Diana looked back at me and crossed her arms, raising an eyebrow.
You're not the only one who saw Damien's fate in a dream. I would rather not see another person die at the Demon Lord's hands, no matter who it is. And I'd rather not be blamed for it.
Oh, damn girl, I didn't know. You could have told me we saw the same dream. God. I was stunned. Diana had seen it too. She let out a sigh and began to walk towards the exit of the room, most likely drained from the experience.
We head out in the morning. I will brief everyone of the plan once we get to the Demon Lord's castle.
Okay. With that, Diana left us alone. Damien gripped to me and looked down at me, cradling the gem in his hand in amazement. Yeah, you got your own little,
So,
yeah.
we're set.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, and you can still use your demon powers one last time too, you know, in case, you know, the Demon Lord tries to do something. So it's all good. It's all good. I nodded happily. Yeah. God damn, yeah. Our private moment was interrupted by the rushing of the incubi and their wives into the room, most likely being let in by Diana after she left.
Everything good?
Yeah, everything's Gucci. Damien and I looked at each other in shock before nodding to the group, hugging each other lovingly. Guess who's human? Yep, just two humans cuddling. The group seemed to be excited at the news, gathering around us and visually checking us for any wounds or bruises. To my surprise as well, there were none, even after the attack from the Black Flames. Diana really pulled through. Yeah, right? The shit she does for you, girl. You need to throw her a party. Just a Diana Appreciation Day. Damien, now being crowded, pushed everyone back, pocketing the gem.
We're okay. We're okay.
Yeah, we good. We good.
We still need to check on you, Damien, to make sure.
Are you okay? I giggled and stepped away from Damien, kissing his cheek. I was exhausted and needed to get back to bed. Before I passed out in Damien's arms, what? I was exhausted and needed to get to bed before I passed out in Damien's arms. From the whole ordeal. There we go. I don't know why the room is there. Let them check you out, Damien. I'll be in the room. Yeah, check you out. Damien stared before nodding, understanding that I needed rest before surrendering himself to the scanning eyes of his brothers. I took that moment to wave to the others and sneak out towards my room. I finally returned to my room and flopped onto the bed, letting the events of my time in the Abyssal Plane replay in my mind. I was trapped here, and soon enough I was about to go marching into battle against Demon Lord for my freedom. Yes. The more I thought about it, the more surreal the feeling became. I was going to be in a room, meeting a powerful adversary face to face, and set myself free from the curse he brought down upon me. As Damien entered the room at last, I smiled and stood, walking over and wrapping my arms around him as he returned my embrace.
Tonight is our last night here.
It is, so we're gonna go out with a bangs. Literally. Yeah. And we held each other locked in silence and unable to say anything more. We had been in a heavy predicament and worked through it. It was something we did together. All we could do in the moment was hold each other and listen to our synchronized heartbeats. As the thought of tomorrow danced in my head, I began to fear it even more. Was I ready to go into battle? Was Damien, or any of us for that matter? We were about to walk into the final battle of World War, yeah. Would we survive? Would I live to see Damien afterward and feel his embrace again? Tomorrow brought too many questions to think about, and I became frustrated and scared. Yes, and we're gonna make love. I needed to hold him and treat the night like it was the last night of the world. Tomorrow was unpredictable, but tonight was guaranteed. I wrapped my arms tightly around Damien, burying my hands in his orange hair as he slowly encircled his arms around my waist. Damien pulled me close, knowing exactly what I wanted to do. And that's to bang. Damien slowly stepped us back towards the bed and fell forward onto it, pinning me down to the mattress with his body as he claimed my lips with his own. I combed my fingers through his hair lovingly. Each touch of his fingers embedded themselves into my memory as I took in his scent, his warmth, his kisses over my skin. I barely felt him slowly ease my legs apart and kneel between them as he danced his tongue against mine. A part of me, however, felt a bit bold. I wrapped my arms and legs around Damien before rolling us over to where I straddled his hips, surprising him. As he looked up at me in shock, I smirked down at him lovingly. You've worked so hard, Damien. Let me reward you. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Damien gulped slightly, taking in his new turn of events. Before I leaned in and kissed him ever so sweetly, brushing my hands over his chest and feeling his skin beneath my fingers. As he quaked beneath me, I felt a rush of pride run through me. I liked this a bit. I would explore it further, undressing us as slow as possible and grinding myself against him. His hands, not bound anywhere, caressed over the skin available to him as his eyes became lost in my form. While a mild form of shyness rushed through me, I had to run through with the mood. Whatever. Just do it. Just get on with it. I wouldn't let myself get out of the swing of heat between us, even if his hands rubbed against every weak spot I had. As it became unbearable to deny ourselves our carnal needs any longer, we ravished each other and finally made love, gripping to each other and letting our moans become lost in each other's mouths and shoulders. As Damien's hands combed over my back and as I dragged my fingers along his chest, seeing the red welts of my dragging slightly form over his skin. It was erotic to see, but as Damien's hands locked themselves onto my hips and began to guide our rhythm, I became lost in the pleasure within me instead. The bed creaking only became louder the faster and rougher we became. We were uncaring of who was around us or who would hear us. We were dancing through euphoria together and we weren't going to be stopped. Yeah, yo, cause I've been through so much that this needs to be done. Can't nobody stop me. It was a perfect ecstasy from beginning to end when Damien wrapped his arms around me and held me close, both of us quaking in our embrace. I could only stare into Damien's gorgeous purple and blue eyes, becoming lost in them as exhaustion began to crawl through me. I love you, Damien, forever and ever and ever.
I love you too. My life is yours.
Uh-huh. We both passed out in each other's arms, lost in our bliss. The world didn't matter until the morning, but even then we knew we'd be alright. I mean, we got through a fucking demon reversal ritual, so I don't know. Tomorrow would decide everything. Indeed, and here we go. We gotta go into battle. Oh my god, you guys. I need a sip of water first. So we're gonna skip on ahead. I'm probably gonna skip all the way to the tree line part again. And I'm pretty sure since Damien is not a demon anymore, he won't go into his demon form. So he'll just be plain old Damien, running into battle with probably a large sword in his hand. And that little jewel. So this is our last day in the demon world. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know. Time flies when you're having fun, right? Damien and I stared at the map outline of the dark castle that was once his unwanted home. Damien's hand slowly eased into mine as he spoke again.
I will protect you no matter what. I promise.
Okay, but don't die on me, though. I listened to him speak before nodding, taking in a deep breath. Everything would be okay. We would be fine. I had to believe in myself and get us to the castle when the time was right. Okay, here we go, to the tree line. Okay, here we go, the tree line. The journey was surprisingly fast, going through the trees as the sound of the war crashed behind us outside of the tree line, causing me to cover my ears a bit from the volume, but I shook my head and pressed forward, not wanting to become distracted. The goal was to get to the castle. I had to focus. Before I could, however, I skidded to a stop, seeing imps appear from the distance and rush towards us. I got this, bae, leave it to me. As my incubus came up behind me and spotted the imps, he prepared himself to attack, but I placed my hands on his arms, stopping him. I got this! I walked forward and formed my weapon, letting it shine brightly in the darkness of the forest around us and temporarily blind the imps ahead of us. So shiny! My hands formed the katars I had trained with, feeling the weight in my hands as the blade glimmered a lavender glow of energy. I swung my hands a bit, recalling the reach and balance of the weapons in my hands as I prepared to attack. The imps who were blinded by my light only for a moment looked back at me and stared as they took note of the weapon I had possessed. With a battle cry, I rushed forward, taking advantage of their blank state. Grah! Battle war cry! I arched my body to the side and jabbed forward, running my blade through the face of an imp before slicing through it and spinning around to slash through the imp beside him, opening 2 large gashes in his chest through his ribs and lungs. Gross. Gross. The imps fell as the others became shell-shocked at the sight. It must have been a big surprise to see a human cut down 2 of their number, but I wasn't in the mood to let them recover. My body quickly turned in front of another imp as I swung my weapon once again, slicing open his throat. With a bubbly cry, he fell as well as I rushed forward again towards the castle, uncaring. I ain't got time for you! The remaining imps began to quake and stepped back in fear, most likely never expecting to see a human decimate their companions. I wasn't so friendly and merciful, especially in this war, as I lunged forward again and skewered through another imp, hearing the steel of my weapons break through his body. My incubus, despite probably being surprised at my carnage, followed as I continued forward, fighting through every imp that came our way. I had lost count of how many crossed me, but I didn't care. All I cared about was getting to the castle. Alright, by the time we reached the end of the forest, there was a slew of dead bodies behind me. I stood at the tree line, panting and feeling waves of adrenaline and lack of energy rush through my veins. I panted for air, slowly focusing on calming down as my energy quickly depleted from its adrenaline-filled high. The weapon in my hand quickly vanished, no longer able to maintain its form without my energy. That was all I could do before my energy was expended and a wave of exhaustion rolled through my body. As I began to fall forward exhausted, my fiancé, however, quickly rushed forward and caught me in his arms. Yay!
Whoa! I got you.
Yay!
You okay?
You passed the trust fall. Yay. Yeah, hi. I looked up to see Damien staring down at me with worry and panic in his expression. We were safe for the moment, so I merely smiled up at him with a nod. I'm fine, I promise to protect you like you protect me. Damien softly smiled and hugged me to him, pressing his forehead to my shoulder.
I love you so much.
Yeah, I love you too. I mean, I wouldn't be here without you, you know? I hugged him back, feeling the relief that we had finally arrived at the castle and were about to rush inside. As we slowly pulled away, Damien lifted me up and held me to my feet.
Will you be okay?
Yeah, I'm great. I nodded, shaking off the exhaustion from my mind. I was ready to end this. I looked up at the castle gates and felt a rush of determination run through me. Let's go finish this. Yes. With that, Damien and I rushed forward into the castle. The final battle had begun. The castle halls were grim and dark, sending shivers through me as Damien and I ran through them towards the sound of battle. All across the ground were bodies of slaughtered imps and soldiers, most likely dead by Diana's hand. As we finally arrived at the throne room, Damien held out his arm and stopped me to protect me from the battle waging within. Okay, what's happening? I want to see this. Diana and the Demon Lord were in some sort of an energy deadlock, with a bolt of red energy streaming out of the Demon Lord's hand and colliding with a purple flame that came from Diana's. The two energies pressed against one another, unrelenting in their violent crash as each stream of energy tried to obtain dominance over the other. The Demon Lord and Diana were equally matched.
Give up, succubus! This world will bow to me!
And he doesn't know we're here yet, let's just be quiet.
Over my dead body!
And he's gonna be like, my pleasure, I will make it.
That can be arranged!
Yeah, I told you. A burst of red energy pulsed around the Demon Lord's body, intensifying his bolt of lightning in the deadlock and forcing Diana to step back from the sheer force of it. Despite this, Diana pressed back, regaining her momentum and her ground. Damien and I remained still and quiet, watching the bout. Watching the bout? Okay. Damien was meant to be backup in case something happened to Diana, and thankfully she didn't necessarily need help for now, or at least didn't look like it, yeah. Maybe Damien wouldn't have to step in after all, which is great, but I highly doubt that would happen. Diana shut her eyes and seemed to focus her energy, a large, black, and purple flame slowly crawling over her body in a threatening aura as the power behind her energy stream increased and began to push back hard against the Demon Lord. Go, Diana, go! Go, Diana, go! As Diana opened her eyes, I gasped as they revealed themselves to be completely covered in gold. Grrr. I can growl too. For a moment, the Demon Lord seemed to struggle maintaining his place, stepping back to try and remain upright at the hard push Diana was throwing his way. However, as he turned his body, the Demon Lord spotted me and Damien at the entrance of the hall, and a smirk grew on his face. Oh no, spotted!
Oh, uninvited guest.
He's gonna redirect the energy to us, and it's gonna be yeah. Diana suddenly turned her head our way, surprised at the acknowledgement, which caused her momentum to falter a bit. Taking the chance, the Demon Lord released another pulse of energy at Diana, forcing her to bend back a bit and stumble on her feet. Diana, don't worry about us. We're just cool. Diana, just focus. Ignore us. Pretend like we're not even there. Diana's eyes returned to normal as she raised her other hand to assist in the stream of energy from her end of the deadlock, attempting to push forward again and regain her place. The Demon Lord, however, laughed.
It's useless!
Oh. With the final push, the Demon Lord let out an angry snarl and forced his energy forward, causing Dan to slam back against the far pillar and lose concentration in her attack. Smirking evilly, the Demon Lord took the chance and shot a bolt of red lightning at Diana, electrocuting her. Oh. Oh dear. Diana, oh no! I'm coming! Damien growled and stepped forward, Damien growled and stepped forward, but through her torture, Diana turned her head and glared hard at Damien, making him freeze in place.
Not your turn!
No, alright. Despite being covered in red tinted bolts of lightning, Diana began to focus her energy again and formed a deep purple aura around herself, letting the Demon Lord's attack bounce around her new barrier. Good job! Sweet. With a breath, Diana let her energy pulse out, dissolving the Demon Lord's attack, and shot a burst of purple flames in retaliation. Her flames slammed themselves into the Demon Lord's chest, pushing him back towards the pillar opposite of hers. I could see the light of Diana's eyes flicker from blood red to gold as she locked eyes with the Demon Lord. Something began to burn beneath her murderous gaze, as if her simple stare was powerful enough to burn through the most courageous of hearts. Yeah, 'cause she pissed. However, the smirk plastered on the Demon Lord's face made my body shiver at the sight. He was nowhere near fazed from Diana's glare. In fact, he seemed to find it amusing from the look in his eyes.
So, the Rebel Queen is protecting the mistake. How pathetic.
Hey now, hey.
The only mistake that lives in this world is you.
Exactly. My thoughts exactly. The echo of the Demon Lord's laughter bounced through the wall with an unforgiving reverb, invading my ears and pounding against my mind. I could feel his dark energy pass through his voice and shake my soul. This wasn't a nightmare or a vision. The Demon Lord was right in front of me and his presence was terrifying. I can fight him. I'm not scared. I ain't scared. Diana and the Demon Lord began to circle one another, with Diana moving to stand in front of us while the Demon Lord positioned himself in front of his throne at the foot of the dais. However, I could feel the anxiousness in Damien's arms as he held it to me, keeping him in place. He wanted to fight the Demon Lord, but Diana wasn't letting him, and it was bothering him to no end. Okay.
Let me help.
Diana's like, no.
I don't need help.
She's like, no. With that answer, Diana sprinted forward, summoning her wings and shooting herself like a bullet towards the Demon Lord. As she passed the midpoint of the room, Diana formed her saber in her hands and swung it at the Demon Lord. Okay. To her disgust, the Demon Lord parried with ease with his own sword, knocking her saber back and swinging to get a slice of her. The battle became a quick slam of dodges and parries from the Demon Lord and Diana, the sound of steel clanging violently in the air. It became a challenge, still keeping Damien near me. I could feel the anger and need for the battle in his tense muscles, ushering me to squeeze it and pull him towards me cautiously. He obeyed, but who knew how long he would. It's like me when I wanted to fight Malik. So I'm like, let me at him. What caused me to look away from Damien was the sound of Diana crying out in pain. Uh-oh. You said you didn't need help, but I think otherwise. I watched as Diana's body flew across the room and slammed itself into the nearby wall, part of the balcony above it collapsing and crumbling on top of her. I could almost hear bones breaking from the rocks that had fallen on her. Ugh. Diana, no! Don't do this! I could see Diana digging her way through the rubble, her hands clawing out of an opening in desperation to pull herself out. However, Damien took that chance to march towards the Demon Lord, ready to take up the fight. Oh my god. Okay, you go, bae. Fuck him up, eh? Seeing his new opponent, the Demon Lord chuckled darkly and brandished his sword, pointing it at Damien in a taunt.
So, you've come to try and stop me? You're as foolish as I remember!
Oh, shut up. He's got this, hopefully.
You know nothing about me.
You know nothing, Demon Lord.
I may not, but I remember all about your life.
Oh, he's trying to. Oh, that was a low blow. Oh, shit. Uh-oh. That sparked the flare in Damien's rage. Damien stuck his hand in his pocket and pulled out the gem Diana had given him from the grip that he had on it. I was surprised it didn't smash between his fingers. However, before Damien could step forward, a flash of purple zipped across the room and slammed into the Demon Lord's body, shoving him into a pillar and successfully destroying it with his body. Haha! Nice! Nice, Diana.
I'm not done with you yet!
Oh, she sounds so pissed. She best. I have, like, you know, I don't blame her. Like, that whole thing just probably ruined her hair. The room began to slowly shape into the reflection of my nightmare, with rubble and stone littering the ground. Diana floated in the air with her wings, but I could tell that her leg and at least a rib was broken, making her curl over herself from the pain. Oh my god, you need to get that looked at. You need to get that checked out. But, like, seriously, guys, can we just not take down any more pillars? Diana kept glaring at the Demon Lord, however, gritting her teeth through the pain and forming her saber once again in her hand. As only a couple of fingers and her thumb managed to wrap around the handle, I could tell then that her hand was also injured.
You'll have to kill me first before I let you get away.
Oh god, you're pushing it, Diana. To see Diana continue to fight was remarkable, but I knew very well that she wasn't going to last long. One more avalanche of rubble on her wound. Wait, one more avalanche of rubble on her would end her. Yes. Okay, so let's all avoid trying to knock down pillars. Does this look like a game of bowling to you? No. The Demon Lord rose from the pile of stone that had fallen on him, grinning despite the blood rushing down his forehead.
Then let me finish the job!
Oh my god. With a cackle, the Demon Lord let his red energy pulse around him, making the rubble around him practically disintegrate before he lunged forward and slammed his sword into hers, shooting them both towards the opposite end of the throne room. The Diana and the Demon Lord returned to their clashing of steel as Damien only fumed at the bout. My instincts screamed at me to pull him back and calm him down, but was I in a place to stop him? Calm Damien down, let him attack. You need to chill. We need to pick a more pivotal moment to use your last remaining resource, you know? Let's just keep calm. Let's just chill. I had to force Damien to step Diana handling the fight. If he interfered, then Damien might attack him as well. If he interfered, then Diana might attack him as well just from her adrenaline rush. Okay, so yeah. I keep mixing Diana and Damien's name. I grabbed Damien's hand and pulled him back to me, needing to set him straight. As he looked at me, I could see the need for revenge burning in his eyes. I instinctively felt bad, but I knew better than to let him rampage. Come on, just take a deep breath. I insisted and pulled Damien back towards the entrance of the hall, giving Diana and the Demon Lord space to fight. Damien reluctantly followed, not allowing the anger in his eyes to die as he stared and pinned his gaze to the fight. On the fight, yeah. Oh, excuse me. The battle intensified as we settled back in our place. Diana seemed to match equally to her opponent as the fight waged violently between them. Red lightning and purple flames sparked between the weapons, lighting the room like fireworks. As Diana's sabers flew out of her hands and clattered on the floor, she brought her arms up and, to my surprise, began to use her forearms to defend herself from the Demon Lord's blade. Wow, you must have bones of steel! However, how it was possible I would never know, but his blade would merely clang against the purple tint of Diana's skin, like she was wearing some form of armor, or perhaps her demon markings protected her. Nifty. Regardless, Diana defended herself as much as she could until she was met with a kick to the chest, sending her flying back into another pillar and breaking it apart with her body. Her body was completely covered by rubble, unmoving and unwavering from the hit. Oh. Diana, okay, now you can jump in, Damien. The Demon Lord finally looked to Damien, tongue darting out to lick his blade as his smirk grew.
Your turn, mistake.
Oh my god. Or maybe we should have tag team with Diana. I don't even know. I don't even know what Damien's about anymore. I just fuck up so easily. Damien snarled as he finally settled himself, ready to take on his father, not only for the world and for his mother, but for Diana as well. Damien's body pulsed and caused him to keel over slightly from the burst of power in his chest. With a hiss, Damien growled growled as his body began to shift, his clothing slowly vanished, and black markings began to crawl across Damien's skin. Oh, demon form! Yay! Activate demon form! As Damien's horns reformed on his head and the air began to shift to one of extreme cold, something about Damien began to pulse with dark energy, one I had not seen from him even before he lost his powers. As Damien finally locked eyes with the Demon Lord, a flash of black washed over his gaze, sending a vibration of fear down my back. Ooh, wow, this is new.
Let's.
Oh man! Oh damn! Oh shit! Oh my god, he'd be looking like the Grim Reaper. Damn! In a show of power, the Demon Lord let out a snarl and charged forward with his sword. Damien, however, summoned a large invisible burst of energy, pushing the Demon Lord back. The Demon Lord fell back and tumbled back up onto his feet after skidding across the marble with a snarl. I had to cover my face with my hands to block the gust of wind that followed, almost feeling myself slide across the floor on my heels from the wave. Damien was billowing with energy, and it definitely showed. Damn. With a look of cold thirst for murder in his eyes, Damien lifted his head and raised his arms to his side in a similar fashion to the succubus before him. The black markings on Damien's back began to twist and turn, slowly pulling themselves off of his skin and forming a set of wings. Oh my god, it's like Batman! Staring at them, they were surprisingly much larger than Diana's. They shuddered and flapped themselves through the air, pushing gusts of wind forward in a taunting gesture at the Demon Lord. As the Demon Lord began to stand, Damien brought his hands in front of him and formed a large rod of black mist in his hands. It quickly solidified in his grip, and it began to gleam brightly as one end began to protrude and curve into the end of a scythe. I knew that the gem would intensify Damien's power, but just how much did it strengthen? Maybe by 9,000. I don't know. The Demon Lord measured Damien with his eyes, glaring hard and gripping his sword tighter in both anger and a dash of surprise.
How did you get this much power?
It's called Enhancing Gem. You should try it.
I don't answer to scum like you.
Oh damn. Alright, damn. Taking control. With that reply, Damien swooped forward and swung his scythe back to reap through the Demon Lord like a Grim Reaper. Despite the Demon Lord being able to parry the attack with his blade, the Demon Lord found himself skidding across the floor from the force of Damien's attack. Basal strong. Damien became relentless and continued to swing and slam his scythe blade into the Demon Lord's sword. The heavy slamming of steel beating on steel boomed through the room as Damien began to push the Demon Lord back towards his throne. Finally, the Demon Lord was knocked back onto his throne, stunned momentarily as Damien pulled his scythe back, ready to decapitate the enemy once and for all. Unfortunately, the blade met with the Demon Lord's sword at the last minute, making me grimace in aggravation. I know, man! Just like, come on, just kill him already! I wanted this to end. I wanted the Demon Lord to fall already. This dance of death had gone on for long enough, and there was no reason for this battle to prolong itself any further. The Demon Lord was clinging to his last moments, and every part of me wished he would give up. I might just go over there and finish him myself. Damien was more powerful than him. This fight would eventually be over. Damien pressed his body into his scythe, pushing against the Demon Lord.
Give up.
Right? Come on. GG.
Trying to scare me, boy? Let me show you how it's done!
Nah, just take his head off. Distracted by the deadlock, Damien was suddenly kicked back through the air, sent tumbling in surprise as the Demon Lord rose back onto his feet and locked eyes with me. A wave of fear shot through me and I was locked, frozen in place. Oh no, this is gonna be a cheap-ass move. I attempted to break free, mentally commanding every part of my body to move or do something to stop him, but no muscle in my body obeyed. Damien quickly tumbled back onto his feet, burning his gaze into the Demon Lord before looking back to me and seeing what he was doing to me.
Be glad, boy! I'm setting her free from the demon world!
Oh, so you gonna kill me. Alright. With a sadistic howl, a red bolt of lightning rammed itself into the ceiling, causing a large rock above me to shatter off of the structure and plummet towards me. Wow. Bitch.
Look out!
Oh no, Diana! No, I got this! I can dodge! The boulder quickly impacted my body. It wasn't heavy enough to completely crush me against the marble, but I could tell that I had broken a rib or two. I'm good. I just broke a rib or two. It's all good. I'm fine. However, I felt a body pressed against me, bearing the boulder from completely smashing me beneath it. I looked up to see a familiar face, wincing at the pain now embedded in her shoulder and arms. Dana, you do so much for me. Like, why can't you let me just take one for the team for once? Diana? Oh my god, girl. Despite being battered and bloody, Diana gripped the boulder, pressing most of its weight off of me and taking it on herself, making sure my injuries were limited, just broken bones. Yeah, were limited just to broken bones. Diana growled and pushed the boulder off of us at Diana growled and pushed the boulder off of us at last, releasing a pained huff of air as she looked at me in concern.
Are you alright?
I'm great. I just broke a rib or two, but I'm good. I'm better off than you know. I could only nod, astonished at the turn of events. Diana was alive. How was that possible? Staring at her, I could tell that she was near death's door, but she wasn't going to go down without the demon lord going down first. Her wings were pressed hard against her back, seemingly broken, but as she lifted me back up, a hum of purple energy rushed through Diana's body and forced her wings to flex out, snapping them into place once more. Ugh, gross.
This battle isn't over. Not by a long shot.
Okay, girl. Okay, whatever you say. I guess we can end this here for now because, damn, apparently we got more fighting to do. So, and yes, yeah. And I think the episode's gone on for quite a while. My throat is kind of killing me. And so, yeah, we will continue on this fight, this epic fight. Diana's still good to go, kind of. She's still half HP. It's all good. At least she's not dead like I had done to her in Matthew's route. But still, yeah. We'll continue on this fight in the next episode. Hopefully no one ends up dying, even though I fucked up that first time and got that bad ending. So yeah, I will see you all next time, you guys, and we can finish this. So bye!